Alright, this is a pizza dough recipe for Peyton. And we are, here's Mia, say hi. What Mia is doing is taking 2 cups of organic unbleached all-purpose flour, and she's running it through the strainer. So it just makes it nice and soft. It makes it nice and airy. Makes sure there's no clumps in it or anything like that. So while she's doing that, we're gonna get started over here. Got 3/4 cups of water. It's hot water, hot filtered water. It wasn't quite to the top, so I'm gonna add a little drop more. So I use these flat ones because it's easier to like top up, make sure you're right there. Same thing with the flour. So here's the recipe. It says that stuff, but I'll send you the recipe. I'll put it in the description. But with the flour, you know, this is glass ones, the Pyrex ones. They're a little harder to use for the flour, so it's good to use these for the flour so you can top it off. We got 2 cups of that. We got 1/3 cup of the water. We got 2 tablespoons of organic brown sugar. Put that in there with the water. And we're gonna mix that up. Brown sugar mixed in with the water really good. Now water is really hot, but we want the water to be at 105, between 100 and 105. So we're going to put it in there. Mixing it up actually cools it down quite a bit. So if it's not cool enough and you want to just keep going without having to wait a lot, you just mix it some more. Looks like we are approaching that 100-degree mark, so just that little bit of mixing cool it down from nearly boiling temperature. If it's above 105, you can kill the yeast. So that's why I want to do it too. Okay, we're doing the video. Here, pull the chair up on the other side. You do it from the other side. How's that? All right. Here. Pull that chair up here. There's your seat. Looks like it's right at the 100-degree temperature. I like it to be a little bit warmer, but that's okay. You just don't want it to be too hot, because too hot will kill the yeast, and too cold it won't activate the yeast. So I'm very gently. Now that we got the sugar water, we're just want to get that yeast mixed in there. We don't want to like disrupt the yeast or anything like that by chopping it down or hurting it. We just want it to get mixed in there well, so it's all wet and able to start feeding on that yeast, on that sugar. All right, I'll pause this and we'll come back after that yeast starts bubbling. So it takes about 5 to 8 minutes, and we'll start to see some bubbling out of the yeast. But you don't want to do that. We'll just pause it and we'll come back to that while Mia sifts the flour. All right, so Mia finished sifting the yeast. This one wasn't too bad. There's a couple of clumps in there. You can see it makes the flour all nice and just uniform. It's just nice and fluffy. Fills with air too. Just makes it really nice. Make sure there's no debris in there at all. See, our yeast is starting to foam up. See that, the foam on top there? So I like that temperature of water. So yeast is super happy. By the way, on this yeast, I use the Fleischmann's yeast. It's like old school yeast, but I got it in bulk, so you can get a whole bunch of it. You can buy it in little packets, but you know, those packets can be like, I don't know, like $1 or something like that per little packet. You can buy this for not very much, and it's like lots and lots of packets. So I keep it in the freezer, so it keeps that yeast nice and in hibernation. So, hey Ava, your turn. Ava. Okay, so we use the Himalayan pink salt. It has lots of good minerals and stuff in it still. And Ava's going to put that salt in.
Do I put this in?
Yep, put it in there. And then we're also going to put some olive oil in there. All right. Now we'll go back to mixing it up. Do a nice little mix. So you mix all the liquid ingredients together, and now we'll add in the flour. So the bubbles show that the yeast has been activated and it's doing its thing. So now we can mix it together. You should see it all come together. Seems like it's still a little bit floury. Yeah, a little more. A little more olive oil. I'm adding a little more water. You can actually see it all starts coming together a little bit. Almost there. There. That turned it into a dough. Let it go for a little bit. Normally you'd have to knead this by hand, but I let the Ninja do its thing. It's a lot easier. I see it come into one clump. It's getting there. So, get a bowl, put some olive oil in it. Also, you have one of these sprayers. You can refill this and pump it up, and then it sprays up. It's pretty cool. You get those at Costco. So, I'll get the dough out. See, it's all together. Squeeze it together, kind of roll it in there. And you roll it all to the back, so you can pinch it. Kind of makes it one thing, so there's no creases out there. You put that side down into the olive oil so it doesn't stick. Put this away. A little silicone on there. Now it is a living organism, so you want to make sure there's some breathing going on. Alright, so here's the Breville oven. Looks just like grandma's. Put on proof mode, and that automatically sets it to 93 degrees, and it's like 53 minutes, but you can change the time. 93 works really good, but you can change the time to whatever, so it keeps it in there. Like I said, a little bit of breathing room on the plastic, so it keeps the warmth in there, and a bowl or a mug of water just to keep the moisture up in there, and leave it in there for a while, at least like half an hour. That's going to proof it out really nice. What you're going to see is the dough is going to double in size, and then you're going to punch it down, and then we can proof it a little more if we want, but then it'll be ready. Once you proof it once, it's ready to use. I will pause this and we'll come back once it's proofed in about 30 minutes or so. So you can see it's only been in there a little bit, but it is pretty close to being double in size already. But we're gonna keep it in there. I just wanted to give you a little update. Alright, we're at the 33 minutes left mark. It started at like 53, 54, so it's been like 20 minutes, but it is definitely doubled in size. It's nice and fluffy and light. A couple things about this batch. Usually I could be around 105, but it's closer to the 100 mark. I think the yeast liked that. It seemed like it activated a lot better, so I'd say stick closer to the 100-degree mark. Also, I usually use a coffee mug with water. This one is the pan. I think it's letting more water out, so it may help it proof faster. You can always perfect the model, but this worked out really good. About 20 minutes later, we got dough ready to make pizza with. So hopefully you enjoyed the pizza. And hey, girls, you want to say hi to Peyton?
Hi, Peyton.
And these girls helped make the dough, so it can be fun too. All right, and then you clean up your mess. That's part of it too. So have fun. Tommy, who cleaned up the mess? Tommy cleaned up the mess. So you put it in the sink, and then that happens. So all credit to the cleanup goes to Tommy.